What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Tony Crypto and Stock News, the channel that covers the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm your host, Tony, and today we are going deep on the biggest IPO in history. SpaceX $1.75 trillion target valuation, $75 billion raise. Roadshow starting June 8th. Biggest IPO the world has ever seen. But here's the thing. You might not even be able to buy SpaceX directly at IPO. And even if you can, history says the smartest play might not be chasing the open. So today, I'm giving you 5 publicly traded stocks already positioned to win this event, plus 2 hidden gems that almost nobody on YouTube is talking about. Stick around to the end because one of those hidden gems surprised even me when I did this research. Let's get into it. Before we get to the stock picks, I need to give you a critical update that changed this story in the last 48 hours. And most channels are not covering this fully. When SpaceX goes public, and based on the SEC confidential filing on April 1st and the June 8th roadshow target, that's coming fast. You will not be buying SpaceX alone. You'll be buying SpaceX, $8 billion EBITDA, controls 60% of all global orbital launches. Starlink has over 9 million subscribers. XAI, that's Grok, burning $28 million per day. Net loss of $5 billion, and Musk himself posted on March 12th that XAI was not built right first time around, so is being rebuilt from the foundations up. X, formerly Twitter, revenue fell from $4.4 billion in 2022 down to $2.9 billion, still carrying the original $44 billion acquisition debt. And Neuralink and The Boring Company are also bundled in. No revenue disclosure. Now here's the one thing protecting investors from XAI's burn rate. A triangular merger structure keeps XAI's debts legally separate from SpaceX's core business. So SpaceX itself isn't sinking, but those losses do show up on the consolidated financials. Bottom line, at $1.75 trillion, you'd be paying 94 times trailing sales. Even NVIDIA at peak AI mania only traded 15 to 20 times revenue. Keep that in mind when we get to the play. Number 1, Rocket Lab. Ticker RKLB. This one is on fire right now, and I mean that literally. On May 8th, this stock surged 34% in a single session and hit a new all-time high of $110. Why? Because Q1 2026 earnings just printed $200 million in revenue, 63.5% year-over-year growth. The backlog hit $2.2 billion, that's 108% higher than a year ago. And on the same day, they announced a $30 million Anduril hypersonic deal, a Raytheon military contract, and an acquisition of Motive Space Systems Robotics. This is the most credible publicly traded SpaceX proxy out there. They are literally the number 2 launch company in the world. And their Neutron rocket, a direct Falcon 9 competitor, is targeting its debut launch in Q4 2026. That's the next massive catalyst. But real talk, the stock is now trading above the average analyst price target of around $89 to $95. Pre-market on May 11th showed a 9.7% pullback already. If you're getting in now, manage your entry. This isn't a buy-the-top situation. Number 2, AST SpaceMobile. Ticker ASTS. This is the wild card. And I'm including it because nobody else is doing what this company is attempting. They're building a direct-to-phone 5G network from space. No special hardware. Your regular smartphone connects directly to their satellites. TELUS, Verizon, Orange, Vodafone, all signed. Revenue exploded from $4.4 million in 2024 to $70.9 million in 2025. $3.9 billion in cash. 2026 guidance is $150 to $200 million. Breaking update. The FCC just approved spectrum rule changes that unlock 7 times more satellite broadband capacity. That is a massive regulatory tailwind directly for ASTS. The risk? Bluebird 7 had a mission failure. Bank of America estimates that leaves them about 7 satellites short of their 2026 deployment target. High upside, high volatility, know what you're buying. Number 3, Intuitive Machines. Ticker LUNR. This is my sleeper pick, and it's the one that's closest to profitability among all pure-play space stocks. 2026 revenue guidance is $900 million to $1 billion. That's a 5 times jump from $210 million last year. They're guiding for positive adjusted EBITDA this year. Their backlog is approaching $943 million, and they have a $4.8 billion NASA Near Space Network contract running all the way through 2034. Here's why this matters for the SpaceX IPO. SpaceX has pivoted back toward the moon. Multiple analysts specifically called out Intuitive Machines as the most logical beneficiary of that pivot. The stock was up 21% on May 8th and is up 79% year to date. Risk. Revenue is project-based, which means lumpy quarter to quarter. But the long-term NASA contracts give visibility that most space startups can only dream about. Number 4. Planet Labs, ticker PL. This one is the YTD champion of the group, up 97% since January 1st. FY 2026 record revenue of $307.7 million, up 26% year over year. $900 million backlog, up 79%. 98% recurring annual contract value. They launched their satellites on SpaceX's Falcon 9 rockets, so every Planet Labs satellite that goes up is direct SpaceX revenue. What's new and underappreciated? Defense demand is surging. Earth observation data is being treated as a national security tool. That's a second revenue engine that has nothing to do with the SpaceX Halo trade. Risk. Net losses widened to $247 million. Break-even is still years away. This is a hold-for-growth play, not a near-term profit story. Number 5, and this one surprises people, Goldman Sachs, ticker GS. Goldman is one of the primary advisors and underwriters for the SpaceX IPO. When this deal closes at $75 billion, the largest IPO in history, Goldman collects massive fees. That's a direct financial play with zero space stock premium risk. If you want SpaceX exposure but you're scared of the volatility in RKLB and ASTS, Goldman gives you a lower risk, stable angle on the same event. Classic finance play that most crypto channels ignore completely. All right, here's where it gets interesting. These two picks literally nobody else is covering on YouTube right now. CNBC just called Linde, ticker LIN, the Exxon of space. Jim Cramer flagged this on May 9th, literally 2 days ago. Here's what Linde actually does. They supply liquid oxygen, liquid nitrogen, helium, and xenon for every rocket launch. And here's the kicker. Engine testing before each launch consumes several times more propellant than the launch itself. Multiple waves of Linde deliveries over just a few days per rocket. The SpaceX angle. In July 2025, Linde signed 2 long-term agreements to supply gases for rocket launches. They built a brand new air separation unit in Brownsville, Texas, literally right next to SpaceX's Starbase facility. That came online Q1 2026. One analyst said, and I'm quoting here, "If you look at the SpaceX launch schedule, this business has potential to increase multiple times." The SpaceX IPO could double Linde's aerospace business to well over $1 billion. The stock is already up 16% year to date, beating the S&P 500. Q1 2026 beat expectations. Price targets raised to $550 to $580. And unlike every other name on this list, no satellite failure risk, no hype premium, no 500% run to justify. Hidden gem number 2. And this one will blow some of you away. Alphabet, Google, ticker, Google. Most people don't realize this. Alphabet invested $900 million in SpaceX back in 2015. Their current stake is approximately 6.11% of the company. Do the math. If SpaceX IPOs at $1.75 trillion, Alphabet's 6% stake is worth over $100 billion. That's an asset sitting on Google's books right now that the market is barely pricing in. When SpaceX goes public, Alphabet's stake gets marked to market. That's a potential Google re-rating catalyst. And in the meantime, you get one of the greatest cash flow machines in tech history. Google Search, YouTube, Gemini AI, all with SpaceX upside baked in for free. No special fees, no minimums. Trades like any other tech stock. This is the cleanest backdoor SpaceX play available to retail investors today. Now, the ugly side. Because this channel doesn't just tell you what you want to hear. Warning 1. XAI is burning $28 million per day. Combined with the SpaceX's books, the entity posted a $5 billion net loss in 2025. That triangular merger structure protects SpaceX's core cash flows legally, but those numbers still print in the consolidated financials. Warning 2. On March 12, 2026, Elon Musk posted, "I want every one of you to hear this, XAI was not built right first time around, so is being rebuilt from the foundations up." That is the AI layer that the $1.75 trillion valuation partially depends on. Warning 3. Historical data shows the top 10 largest U.S. IPOs declined a median of 31% in their first year. 7 of the 10 largest IPOs have underperformed the S&P 500 since listing. The pattern is real. Warning 4. At $1.75 trillion, you're paying 94 times trailing sales. NVIDIA at absolute peak AI mania traded 15 to 20 times revenue. SpaceX is being valued more aggressively than NVIDIA was at its top. The play? Don't chase the IPO open. The proxy plays, RKLB, ASTS, LUNR, PL, LUN, Google, let you ride the enthusiasm with no numbers on publicly traded companies. Let's bring it all together. Quick visual recap. Number 1, RKLB, operational proxy, $200 million Q1 revenue, just hit an all-time high. Best upside, but also near ATH. Watch your entry. Number 2, ASTS, Space 5G direct-to-phone, FCC spectrum win, high upside, high volatility. Number 3, LUNR, Moon Infrastructure, $1 billion revenue guidance this year, closest to profitability. Number 4, PL, Earth Observation, defense demand surge, YTD leader at plus 97%. Number 5, GS, IPO underwriter, direct fee play, low volatility. Hidden Gem 1, Linde, literally fuels every rocket. Exxon of space, lowest risk name on the list. Hidden Gem 2, Google, 6% stake in SpaceX, backdoor play, 0 space stock premium. As always, not financial advice. Do your own research. These are conversation starters, not buy signals. All right, that is a wrap on today's episode. If you got value from this, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. Every single episode, we bring you the crypto and stock news that matters, including the stories other channels won't cover. If you want to start trading crypto and stocks, my Kraken referral link is in the description below. And if you're creating content yourself, Descript is what I use to produce this channel. The link gets you 50% off your first 2 months. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all at Tony Crypto News. I'll see you on the next one. Have a blessed day.